Morning, everyone. I would ask how you're doing, but I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that. You could ask me how I'm doing. I think you know the answer to that. I'm a broken man today. I still am. That was the longest journey back ever. We're here to talk through what happened in Bilbao and all the fallout and the reaction that's happened since Ruben Amorim's comments. I want to hear your opinions on Ruben Amorim. I want to hear your opinions on United. You can hear it in my voice. I always end up sounding a bit like Barry White. And today is one of those days after drinking. We're also then going to speak about the squad, speak about the summer, speak about the rebuild, speak about the season, speak about, unfortunately, loads of things which are really quite depressing. But that is Manchester United. This really is the lowest I've ever felt as a United fan. I'm not old enough to remember United getting relegated, all right? But I am old enough to remember what's happened this season. And it's certainly not the United I grew up on, but that's just a reflection of where we are right now. I'm going to try and cover absolutely everything. I'm going to try and engage with as many of you as I possibly can. I know that not everyone's going to be chipper in the comments, all right? I'll try my best. I promise I will. Let me see who's here from the mod and the member gang, and we'll get into the show because there's going to be so much to discuss. And look, it might get a bit angry in the chat today. Well, it will. I know that. Good morning to you, Carl, to Stephanie, and I saw you there, Josh. I saw you there early as well. The usual mod suspects, hopefully trying to keep it civil down there. JC, how you doing, buddy? Brian, you're there as well. Saeed, Sanj, look, I saw that to kick off the show. I honestly don't even know how to react to that. Andre's come in. Big up to you, Andre. I've never seen you give 50 before, and you just come in straight away and done that. And it's something I really felt when I was out there. Look, this is how I want to start this show. And I promise you this isn't just like coming at the end of drinking for a couple of days. Maybe it partly is. Right? I knew what could happen in that final. You knew what could happen in that final after everything that we've seen this season. It didn't stop me wanting to go there. It didn't stop me getting the most ridiculous journey. The journeys that everyone did. Did you see the videos of the United fans, or just probably Spurs fans as well, like stuck in Bilbao coach station? There was no taxis, there was no buses, there was no anything for any fan to get anywhere. Yeah, everybody turned up. And I love doing that. And I'd love seeing everyone that I haven't seen there for a while. And I enjoyed that part. On my life, that might be the last European away I think I do. Because I simply cannot do this job properly. It's something I said in the pod this morning. It's something, hey, look, man, like you grow up in life, you sort of move forward in life. And I think what I've got now here with you guys, with this community, with Andre jumping in and gifting 50 straight away, like so many of you have made United People's TV sort of part of your routine as a United fan. And I think that's awesome. And I've got a responsibility to provide the content that I love doing and I'm proud of, and I just can't go to the games and do that. It's just not possible. Hey, look, never say never. Maybe in a while, but mate, these players, man. Ruben Amorim made some mistakes in that game, right? Ruben Amorim definitely made some mistakes in that game. But these players, they do not deserve that sort of support, man. The Bass is saying, look, you're not thinking about ditching United. It's literally the opposite of what I've said. I just said that there are different experiences that you can get as a Manchester United fan. There are United fans that are privileged enough to live 2 minutes around the corner from Old Trafford, and they've got a season ticket and they can go every single week because they can. There are United fans that wake up at 3 a.m. in Singapore to watch United in the middle of the night because they can. There are different ways to experience being a United fan. And I just get the feeling that, and it's like the ultimate irony of it all. The bigger the game, the more important it is that I'm here to comment on it. And yeah, I had a cracking time there. It wasn't always great. Yeah, Sean, I saw someone say that comment. You are not allowed to go and see Spurs against United anymore. Barry saying you'll change your mind when United starts winning. Man, this isn't me checking out of United because, we're shit. I was going to do that a long time ago, my friend, if it was that. It's just the fact that I can't do my job properly. People, please listen to me when I'm saying that. I cannot do my job properly, and it really frustrates me. I was bowling around Bilbao at whatever time it was in the morning, trying to get signal for like 45 minutes on my own whilst everyone else was going back to... I couldn't do my job, and it was so utterly frustrating. Somebody sent a super chat there. Enough about me, man. Let's talk about this. Wahib, you're saying, shout out to the fans in Bilbao. I love that photo there that I took. Oh, that's a cracking photo as well. That's not the one. That square was good fun. It's probably the best part of the trip. I know the best part of the trip actually was the march to the ground. And big up to Jay from Stretford Paddock. Finally bumped into Jay. Me and Jay used to do a podcast a long, long time ago. Back when he ran Red Flag Flying High. I ran the People's Person, and they all ran Stretty News, and we did a little pilot podcast years and years ago. I think I might have that somewhere. Never went out. What are you saying? Shout out to the fans in Bilbao. They made every second in Bilbao worth it, even the 14-hour travel. We will be back. We will be back. There's no question about that, right? But let's speak about the game, right? Let's speak about the game itself. Let's speak about Ruben Amorim. We'll focus on first. We're going to focus on two things. Number one, Ruben Amorim. And then number two, the squad. Because I do think they are separate conversations. Maybe not separate conversations, but they are conversations worthy of having a section about. I think Ruben Amorim made some mistakes in that final, man. I do think he made some mistakes. What's like? I'll open the floor. The chat is open. What do you think about Ruben Amorim after that game? What do you think about Ruben Amorim's tactics and approach for that game? Where are you now on Ruben Amorim? I did my video last week. My opinion hasn't changed. I will do a video at lunchtime today where I try and articulate exactly where my head is at. Right? I think the biggest mistake that Ruben Amorim made is abundantly obvious. It's absolutely abundantly obvious. There's no way that Ruben Amorim should have started Rasmus Højlund in that game. Now, it was not rocket science, I don't think. It was not a surprise to see Højlund again be invisible. Right? He is a ghost of a footballer this season. Really is a ghost of a footballer. And it wasn't a surprise to see him contribute hardly anything at all. I thought the decision to play Bruno deep, I understood it. And it has worked for United at different points this season. Remember? But I think a lot of the times it has worked is when we played Ugarte and Casemiro together, and then Ugarte's gone off around the 60th minute mark, and then Bruno's gone deeper. Didn't quite work in the final. Luke Shaw, I'm sorry. Like, Luke Shaw just hasn't looked fit at any point since he's been back this season. At any point. Previously when Luke Shaw comes back into the team, you look at him and you go, oh, there he is, man. If only he can stay fit. If only he can stay fit. I look at him now and I go, well, he's done. I look at Luke Shaw and go, well, it looks like the injuries have finally caught up. I'm going to go and read some of your chats out here, right? And there's lots of them coming in. Paul, you're saying Garnacho should have started. Well, there's going to be a little conversation that we're reserving, especially for Garnacho, a little bit later on. Danny's saying we completely dominated the game and struggled to break down a low block and conceded a fluky goal. There's not much more on the manager. Hey, look, man, he did. Like, I'm somebody who will always see like glass half full. You know me. But Amorim did make some mistakes in that game. However, I came away from that game, not for the first time this season. How many times have I said this? I came away from that game thinking, if Manchester United had better finishers, we would have easily won the game of football. Easily. Literally no shots on target from Spurs, and they won 1-0. A hilariously bad stat. We did not play anywhere near fully good enough in that game, but we still did enough to beat Spurs. We still did enough. And it's been the case all season long. Maybe not all season long, but under Ruben Amorim for sure. Just the quality just makes you go, ugh, stinks. And again, that happened here. Dean is saying, the thing is, Sam, if Shaw scores the header and Højlund scores, we'd say he was a genius. Man, that was a pretty damn good clearance by Mickey van der Ven, wasn't it? Look, we did more than enough. Maybe not more than enough. I think we did enough to win that game of football. It was an awful game of football, but we still did enough. So many times I've been saying that this season, and I'm kind of feels like I'm sick of saying it, really, because it's always true. T87, thank you for the super chat. Dude, what are you saying? You're saying, hi, Sam, I back Amorim. I want him to stay, but I hope his mistakes are a learning curve and not natural errors that will happen more often. I just hope we can get some valid replacements for players. And the biggest priority this summer for me is definitely recruitment. I mean, obviously. It's not just about backing Ruben Amorim. This is the thing that I always kind of get frustrated about when it reaches these conversations and these points. It's like, it's not about just like backing Ruben Amorim, like get him all the players he wants. We've made that mistake before as a football club. It's about what this summer is about backing the vision of where this club should be in 3 years' time. That's what the club should be doing. Ruben Amorim, and I don't want to say this in a sort of disrespectful way, but Ruben Amorim should be a vehicle for the vision of where INEOS, where Omar Barada actually sees United being in 3 years' time. And I think Ruben Amorim is actually the right man to help us achieve this vision. It shouldn't be about this summer being, who does Ruben Amorim need? What does Ruben Amorim want? Let's get everything that he needs and hope that he can win. No, it's the other way around. We should be recruiting for our football club this summer, and Ruben Amorim just so happens to be the manager right now who is leading us. And when Ruben Amorim leaves in the future and we bring somebody else in, those players who are in our club then, that have been signed for Manchester United, they will apply to different managers. That's what we have not done for so long. For so long. Right. Kamal saying, didn't mind Højlund and Ugarte should have started. And you know what? Like if Ugarte did start, and then people would probably be having a go at Ruben Amorim for starting two defensive midfielders. And look, we're playing. Mazraoui is not a right wing back. He's not. Never will be. But he's starting him right wing back. Could you have you could have, in theory, started Ahmad as the right wing-back. People would then complain that Ahmad wasn't further enough forward. But by doing so, maybe then make space for Garnacho. I mean, that's a possibility that could have happened. Shaw is only fit for finals. Well, Shaw didn't look fit for the final. That's what I mean. Sigmund saying, I think Amorim doesn't want to be here. He keeps talking about leaving or potentially being sacked. He's got a season and he must make top 6 or above. I don't really... No, not that quote there. I kind of disagree on that one. I don't look at how Ruben Amorim is speaking and thinking, oh, he's trying to force his way out of the club. I mean, those 4 words there would very much tell you differently. Ruben Amorim doesn't want to go anywhere. Kamal saying we need that physicality in midfield and attack. Oh, jeez, you're telling me there, man. You're telling me. Mr. Mean is saying, what players should we sell first? Onana or Shaw? Look, next week, there's going to be plenty of time for us to have these conversations. We play Villa on Sunday. You know, I can't believe we play Villa on Sunday. It's so dumb having finals before the end of the season. It really, really is. Dean, you're saying change of forward line and the keeper when we fly up the table. Like literally those two positions. If you have a goalkeeper that's not making as many mistakes as Onana made this season, and you've got a goal scorer who can, score goals, the conversation would be very different. It might not be incredibly different. We probably still wouldn't have got in the top 6 this season, but we certainly wouldn't be having a conversation about 16th, and we probably would have won the Europa League. Abdullah saying, when I wake up yesterday, I'll see this loss as a benefit. This manager needs time with less pressure. I'll speak about that towards the end. I know, and I can understand, by the way, that there is a silver lining to the idea that United don't have European football next season. Just that right now, where we're still in the fallout of it all, it's kind of hard to have a conversation about that seriously without being just sort of accused of being overly positive, without sort of staring the reality in of what's, staring you in the face. Andy saying Amorim's making a point to the owners with this. Man, INEOS have got to have the summer of summers, man. There is so much that we have to get right. There really, really is. But United, and I think this is correct. Of course it is correct. Of course it is. Ricardo, you were saying it's your birthday today? Well, commiserations, mate. Dean saying, I guarantee we beat Villa because it's pointless, probably. Dave, you're saying you stand by Amorim. I'm done with these players. We'll speak about the players next, but if you really genuinely, I'm sure, look, Frank's coming down there, stop making excuses for Amorim. And I'm sure there are plenty of United fans now that feel that they want to move on from Ruben Amorim, right? I'm sure there are. I don't know how many, but I'm sure there are some of you. I think you're all ludicrous, right? Sorry. I really, really do. And that might be such a dumbass thing for me to say, considering we're 16th or 17th in the league. But let me just explain to you why I think it's ludicrous. Manchester United made the biggest mistake when they kept Erik ten Hag. And that was something that I got wrong. So, hey, look, maybe in a few months' time, I'm going to be wrong again. Sure, it can happen. But United decided to stick with Erik ten Hag. And that ended up being a mistake. So what did they do? They sacked Erik ten Hag mid-season. They got rid of Erik ten Hag in November. Then they went across and they said, right, who do we want? Okay, we want Ruben Amorim. Lads, I don't really want the job mid-season. It doesn't matter, Ruben's like, you either come in now or you're not going to get the job. He wanted the job that much that he came mid-season, knowing full well what was going to happen. I do think that Ruben Amorim is probably a little bit fortunate to have as much support as he does from a lot of United fans. But I think so many of us have just reached a point, and I can only speak for myself here, have just reached a point where something has to give, something has to change on basically a granular level at this club. And I think that's now, that's what I mean. We've reached the bottom, people. We've reached the bottom. I know there's going to be some trolls in the comments here. Oh, you haven't reached the bottom, Sam. You can get relegated next season. You can laugh at me all you want. I don't give a crap. United are never getting relegated in the modern game. Luckily, there's going to be 3 teams worse than us coming up from the Championship every single season now, just as has been the case with Ipswich, with Southampton, who's coming up this season. Leeds, they'll probably go back down. Don't know who else in the final. Was it Sheffield United in the final? Sunderland? United aren't going to get relegated. So literally, but I think we finished 17th. I think we'll lose to Villa and I think we'll finish 17th. This is the lowest it is ever going to get. And next season, it probably will be a little bit of a blessing for how crap we are as a club to only be playing 1 game per week will actually be a bit of a benefit. I know there's going to be people coming in saying, oh, when Chelsea sort of, they missed out on European football, Conte won the league the next season. You can kind of draw parallels to that if you want. This is the rebuild opportunity. The first time, I think, in 10 years that we haven't had European football going into a season, whether that's Europa League or Champions League. I think it's the first time in 10 years. There's just going to be nothing. This is when you actually rebuild. Because what happens now when you have all this space now, when you have less games, there is less requirement for a squad which is capable of competing on 2 fronts. Manchester United do not need that next season. We have literally no need for it. We do not need a squad that is capable of competing on two fronts. So trim that squad down. Super trim. Whatever you want to call it. I don't really make up some phrases if you want. And that's probably when you actually can do a rebuild. Because what United have tried to do over these years, right, is rebuild while pressure still exists. Still one of the top 5 clubs in the world. We need to rebuild and we need to win at the exact same time. And it's almost like you're doing two things at once. Like just accept how shit we are now. Like, we are not a top 6 club right now. We are so far from it. Right? It's just not who we are. Right now as a football club, we have lost that identity. And it's just a truth of how bad we are. And at that time, that's effectively what you need to rebuild. And then you build up towards it. So just like this idea of winning the league within 3 years, I think is, well, quite frankly, right now it feels ludicrous. That opinion may well change if we have the summer of summers, but we really, really do need the summer of summers. And it's not just about going out and spending £200 million for Ruben Amorim and getting. It's not that at all. It's what I'm saying. It's about following the vision of the club, signing players for the club that Ruben Amorim, of course, will work with, like Cunha. Like, we need, where we are now, mate, we need players that are ready to go into the trenches and to literally fight for this football club. The absolute opposite of what I saw in that post-match interview with Garnacho. I'm going to go down and read some of your comments here. Anti saying, let's be honest, we're only pissed because of the money. Nobody wanted to watch us being humiliated in the Champions League. That's a bit of a truth there, man. Nobody really thought that we had any chance of hell in the Champions League next season. It was just more the bragging rights of being able to be back in it. But we would have got... Imagine the pressure that I'm not here sitting here, so I would much rather we won the Europa League on Wednesday, right? And we had that, and we're in the Champions League next season. And the problems, because they're good problems, right? But they would have been that exactly what I was describing there, that situation of having to rebuild whilst the pressure exists because you're at the top table, you're in the spotlight, you should be able to compete because you're Man United in the Champions League. And this squad is so far off that. Ryan is saying, we let 3 attackers go with no replacement. We gambled on it and it backfired. We don't deserve Champions League football. Get some scorers and back the manager. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't particularly think that letting Jadon Sancho go or Marcus Rashford go or Anthony go. Yeah, do I feel like, oh, we would have scored 1 million more goals if we had those players in our team? No, I don't. I really, really don't. I want to have a conversation about the squad in a second. Let me go down and read some more comments. Why is everyone saying sell Bruno? I imagine people are saying sell Bruno. Have I got a photo of Bruno up here? I think I might have. There we go. I imagine people are saying that because of what that might mean to the finances of a rebuild is presumably what I think people are suggesting. And I don't think United, for any, of course, if Al Hilal or someone in Saudi comes in with a nuts offer like 170 million, who am I to suggest that United can just reject that out of hand? I can't. I literally can't. But I'm talking about players that we need, players who are happy to be in the trenches and get dirty for this football club over the next few years and commit everything professionally to dragging this club back upwards. The attitude of Bruno is like probably the last attitude I want out of this club. There are so many other players, sellable players, that I would get rid of before Bruno. It's not even a question. Really isn't a question for me. And I know there's a lot of logic to the idea of getting X amount of money for a player who's 30. And I understand that. I just fundamentally disagree from that attitude perspective. Sigma saying, not Amorim out, but it feels like whatever is invested this summer is the last roll of the dice for our club, financially speaking. Hope you can understand the fear or pessimism. Mate, INEOS have got to get it right. And after what's happened this season, I've said this to you already, not just you in particular, Sigma, but in general, there's a lot of goodwill that's left and faith that's left between fans and INEOS. It's kind of been dissipated across the course of this season. They're going to have to get so much right. And we can't afford now. Like, Cunha is going to be the biggest signing we make this summer. And even then, I thought that was I didn't think we'd spend that much. We have to find some gems. Like, we have to find more. Maybe Managerial is not the best example, but I think from a value versus signing perspective, it is the best recent example we've got of signing a player for like 15 million or less that actually has a genuine impact on the quality of your squad without breaking the bank. And these players exist. That's why you spend a ton of money employing the best scouts. Like, shit me, if you just bring me in. You want a striker? Or how about you just go out and sign the player who scored more goals than anyone in all of Europe? I've got that now. Yeah, well done. We really need to be a scout to say that Gyökeres would be a good signing. No. You don't. I'm sure you have more data to back it up. But what we need is to find some gems. Some 20 million or less signings. 2 or 3 of them. Wow, didn't see that coming. That's what we need. As well as a player like Cunha who can be a bit of a leader. Because we're not going to be able to go out and get Gyökeres anymore. I said that before the final. There's only one way that we can afford Gyökeres. That's winning the Champions League. Sorry, winning the Europa League. We didn't get it. Don't think Gyökeres is a conversation now. United forever. Thank you very much, dude. You're saying you got the best channel for United. Amorim needs to select youth players and get rid of the players who are not fit enough to play for United. It's not just about like throwing all the kids in, man, right? Throwing all the kids. It's not that at all. But it's about trimming the fat, getting rid of the players that you know just don't want to be here for the scrap that is required next. And there are so many players here. We have to find some money in a spine if we're going to have a chance of jumping those places. Yep. Jonathan, you're saying Cunha's a massive risk for that money when we haven't got much. Get the spine right first and a right wing back. I've said this before. I think United are probably going to take the gamble on a right wing back from an internal perspective. Either Ahmad playing there or someone like Mantato or Camerson coming through. I don't think United are going to go big 40, 50, 60 because a right wing back, spending X amount on a right wing back like that is a very specialist signing. I think United will try and find a wing back from within. That's kind of what I think. I think they're going to spend money elsewhere. Gamer, thank you for gifting 5 memberships as well, dude. Man, we're not. It's not. You can't call this a therapy room anymore, man. You can't. It's almost like I'm an enabler. Like we're all addicts for pain. That's why we're all United fans. Emmy, you're talking about free agents. There are a couple of free agents. Is it Napoli going after Jonathan David? I think so. But look, the reason I've got this photo up there is because who expected this? Apart from absolutely bloody everyone. Who expected this? After the game, we're hearing about, some of these United players, they don't agree with what the manager wants to do. He's overconfident in his system. Like I've pointed out some of the flaws I see in the Amorim system. I think the thing that is annoying me the most and kind of has been annoying me the most is in the build-up, when we've got the ball, you see the 2 wide centre-backs split and the third centre-back moves up into midfield to make a midfield 2 with one of the 2 midfielders. And they can never receive the ball because it's like Harry Maguire is not good enough at stepping up into midfield. He's not comfortable in that. He's not comfortable. De Ligt's not comfortable doing it either. And both of those are the central centre-back choices. So, like, it doesn't work. It never works, ever. And then you pass to one of the wide centre-backs, and then it goes to a wing-back, and then it comes back, and then there's no central progression. No central progression. Hasib saying Frimpong's available for 30 mil. Like, that dude's a winger, man. The dude is an absolute winger. He will not work in that system. You go forward, but the amount of times that he would get exposed, and he will get exposed for Liverpool, but they're a good enough team that they can probably cover the gaps and the spaces. We're not right now. This, right? What's your reaction to this? Garnacho speaking after the game, right? No one's going to do anything. He's not wrong there. The season was crap. We didn't beat anyone in the league. And then he said this. I played every round until I reached the final, but I only played 20 minutes today. I'll enjoy the summer and then we'll see. And then you got Garnacho's brother on Instagram. I'm sorry, like we are. I've talked about something that I was impressed with Garnacho was his response after being dropped against City. I actually thought he showed some maturity there. Mate, I get out the club. Like, gone. Vamos. Like, I don't care. Like, you can come at me saying, oh, Ruben Amorim after the game, oh, he threw him under the bus because he said that, oh, he missed a chance in the semi against Bilbao. And but Ruben Amorim was just explaining that, I mean, you have a go at me every week. Like, it's 1 week for not playing Mason Mount, and then it's 1 week for not playing Garnacho. This football club has no chance of ever recovering to become the United that we remember growing up when you've got attitudes like this in the dressing room, right? I'm going to do a poll down here. I'm sorry, like I'm fully firm and fixed on this, and maybe there's going to be some stuff coming out there, but I don't care. What that shows is it's maybe it's self-entitlement might be the wrong way to describe it. The most important, and look, I can understand this. When did he say like that? The most important person for Garnacho is Garnacho. Himself, me. What's best for me? I want to do this. I want to do that. I want this. I. That attitude is the wrong one. Man, I feel, and look, that's why I've got this photo up here. Every footballer is influenced by his family and friends around him. Marcus Rashford was influenced by the wrong people. I think his agent was not good for him, whispering in his ear, "You're better than this. You should be playing for Barcelona, man." I think you believe it, then you believe it. You believe it. Like, would Garnacho have made a difference? Yeah, sure. But, mate, your conversion rate, I believe, is the worst that we have in the team this season. It's when you see things like this that it makes me double, triple, quadruple down on backing this man. That attitude is a poisonous attitude in the dressing room. And until you get rid of them all, then you have to. Like, there is no chance. Like, Dan, you coming down here, and I know you're trolling. That's fine down there. You can do what you want, man. Mount was class, though, wasn't he? Yeah, this is the arguments that people get through. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. That's still a poisonous attitude. It is self-preservation. It is about what is more important for them, not what is more important for the football club. And that's just, they're not going to be the players that take us back to the top, man. And I think actually, like, Garnacho, I told you, like, there were parts this season where I was like, oh man, that was a good response. He should have started. Big mistake. Like, I don't care. I don't care if any of you are right when you're saying this. I don't care. It does not justify that. It doesn't justify it. Doesn't justify it. They have to go. I don't know when I did the video. I think I said it. Was it last month? Month before? I don't quite know. Garnacho is going to be the player this summer that I think probably actually will be the biggest sale that we make. Rashford, we know, has got around about the 40 million price tag. Anthony, I think we're going to try and get somewhere between 30 to 40 million. Optimistic, but that's what United will be aiming for. Jadon Sancho. Yeah, Brockman. Yeah, I know I'm not always right. Jeez, don't worry about that. I absolutely know I'm not always right. But I'm definitely right on this conversation about attitudes. Like, I don't care how talented you are, man. I really, really don't. Give me, who have I got? Kind of struggle here. That's how bad the squad is, quality-wise. I would probably argue that attitude is... No, it's the same thing. It's 50-50. Attitude and talent are just as important as each other. And I just hated that after the final to see that. I really, really did. And I'm telling you, it's probably going to be a lot to do with the voices in their ears. And do you want a contrast here? There's your contrast. We need the attitude of players like Ahmad, Bruno, Yoro. I'd actually even argue Xerxes. And there's some others in there as well. That's what this summer has to be. It's a rebuild of... What would you all describe this summer as then? And like Dazine, I'm guessing you're trolling. Bruno is part of the problem, yet you hate Rashford. Yeah. Even if you're trolling this, I find it quite funny that people just have the energy to do it. I really, really do. I don't even know if I can call it a rebuild anymore. It's kind of the thing. Is it renovation? I don't know. I don't know what way to describe what this summer is now. Right? It's not about using Ragnick's. It's not about using Ragnick's open heart surgery comment, man. It's way beyond anything like that, and it's Manchester United have been through significant. I don't even need to describe to you the history of our football club and what we have recovered and rebuilt from. So this situation we're in now is just that we've tried and tried and tried, and we've just never been able to get it right. Rebirth is probably a better word. Phoenix from the ashes, whatever you want to use. And maybe, and this is where I understand where this conversation leads to. A season without European football and having the space that provides. Now, look, will Ruben Amorim having more time on the training ground lead to improvements? I mean, well, it has to. It absolutely has to. And this is the thing, right? This is something I truly, truly believe in, right? Maybe I won't be saying this if come October next. In fact, kind of quickly look at the poll there, see what you're saying about Garnacho. 900 votes, 80% of you are saying sell, 20% are saying keep. Sell him, definitely sell him. Reinvest that money. just the dressing room has to be refined. There is only one attitude and one approach that is going to take this football club back to the top. And if when the chips are down and the backs are against the wall and there's players coming out saying stuff like that after cup finals because it's in their own self-interest to do so, those are not the right players in your squad, and you have to sell them. Even if you don't want to sell them, you have to sell them for the benefit of the football club and for the benefit of the manager and the benefit of the dressing room. It has to be done. Rego, thank you for gifting 10 memberships, dude. Honestly, thanks to you all. Like Andre, coming in having a chat. I genuinely do feel a bit better about it now that I've had this chat here this morning. Because 14 hours on a journey back from Bilbao allows you to stew on things for a bit. Allows it to fester. If Ruben Amorim is backed, then Ruben Amorim's here all next season. Because if we do what we do, let's say, because, I suppose we're in a similar sort of conversation this summer where there's going to be United fans arguing whether the manager should be going or getting replaced. Kind of the same situation we were in last summer with Ten Hag. And then Ten Hag got sacked in November. And we brought in a manager mid-season that was playing a completely different style of football, and all of a sudden there were problems. We can't do that again. We can't. He didn't want the job, and we can't go into this season thinking, if he's not doing his job by November, then just sack him and then so do it all again. Sack another manager mid-season. Hey, look, maybe they will do it. I think that would be foolish beyond belief. Foolish beyond belief, man. And it's easy for me to say here now, the 23rd of May, when nothing's happened next season. Hey, look, if we go and lose the first 10 bloody games of the season, then they're great. But Amorim needs a full season with no threat and no conversation about anything behind the scenes about replacement. That's what a rebuild would be. Right, Imtiaz, I did not need this. You're saying we needed this, Sam. Lang, not that Lang. You're saying can't trust Onana at all. Need a new goalkeeper for sure. I do, man. Onana's got to go. I made that. My heart. My mind was kind of made up. On Onana after the, was it Lyon game? I think it was. Darren, he's saying it's a complete reset. This mess hasn't happened overnight. It's the result of 12 years of slow and steady degradation of standards. Well, I think that's a pretty fair description. Complete reset, I think is that more extreme than a rebuild? I don't really know. The truth be told is like we've effectively just been wallpapering on other wallpaper. Like things haven't been stripped back. Things haven't been sanded down. No wall prep. This is absolute nonsense, says Scott. Don't know whether you're talking about me or whether you're talking about United. But if I was to ask you this, right? And speaking hypotheticals now. What do you think the aims are next season? Like, what do you think needs to happen? Like, bear in mind, we're like, so what we in? We've got the League Cup, we've got the FA Cup, and we've got the Premier League. That's our football next season. So there's going to be how many games less overall? Europa League was 8 games. Well, European football was 8 games in the group stage plus 2. It's about 14 or 16 more games, I think. Something like that. That's how many less games we'll have this season. You could go deeper in the cups. It's possible. Right, let me see what you're saying. Top 6 says Steve and Lone Wolf and C-Bomb. Top 8 and maybe the FA Cup, someone says down there. Get back into Europe. Win the domestic cups. Top 6 with improvement. Good recruitment and just get top 6. A cup would be a bonus. Aiden saying top 6 finish in FA Cup. Get a striker and a new keeper. Full squad clear out, said Ant. Top 10 finish. Better performances. Back to grassroots. Yeah, anything cup related is a dessert for next season. It's not the main dish. It would be, oh, that's nice. Cool. That's what the domestic cups are for United next season. It is nowhere near our priority. Our priority literally is going to be a week by week, performance by performance. The progression. For Amorim, next season, from the get-go, I want to see United be so much more aggressive and confident from the beginning. Right? His system can either look extremely aggressive or extremely defensive, depending on how it plays. And a lot of that, I think, has been player-related. Amorim made some mistakes in the final. I'm not going to pretend that he didn't. I'm not going to say that it was a flawless tactical performance, because I don't think it was. I think he made some mistakes in the starting 11. I think he made some mistakes as the game went on. And I also think that had we had better quality players, I think we probably would have scored at least one goal in that game. We might have even won it. Next season, the sporting version of Amorim's system has to come to Manchester United. Not this Poundland, slow, lack of intense. It's just, that's what it is, man. That's what this system is right now. The squad isn't fit for purpose. And Ruben Amorim's made it clear that he's not going to change. And I know, again, I understand that people are angry about it, but I've just sat there and watched the manager before Ruben Amorim get lamped from pillar to post by so many United fans. Where's our identity? Oh my God, what are we playing? What are we doing? Because what did Ten Hag do? Completely threw his system out the window, adapted to the players, and changed everything. Pretty much on a week-by-week basis. To the point where you're looking at it as a United fan going, mate, I can't even tell you what formation we're playing. I can't even tell you what he wants us to do. I can tell you everything that Ruben Amorim wants this United team to do. We're just not doing it. And there are two different ways to approach it there. You can, if you want, adapt the system, change it to the players, get the results. What did that do for Ten Hag? It got him booted out of the door and laughed at by every pundit going, I don't even know what he's trying to get with this team. And now you've got a manager doing the opposite. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to quit. I know what is needed for this football club. Let's do this. And now you're getting maybe some of those same United fans who are angry and annoyed that he's not adapting his system. It's like, what do you want then? Because if you don't want this and you don't want that, like, I think you just love arguing. Manny is saying, Sam, can fans now admit we are 3 seasons away from the top 6? And I disagree with that. I genuinely think top 6 is possible next season. Like I told you, like we just played Chelsea the other day. I'm like, you're in the Champions League. That's the Champions League. Yeah, I think United can compete for the top 6 next season. But it all depends on us getting the summer, right? And I'm... Again, you say this every year because it's true every single goddamn year. It's like United selling correctly and buying correctly are equally as important. It's like 50-50. Signing the right players, like Cunha, I think would genuinely be a good signing. But getting rid of players and actually bringing money in, both of those things need to happen at the same time. Hopefully the fans now get it. Fancy thinking buying a couple of strikers will make a difference. I mean, it will make a difference. It really will make a difference. Steve saying an updated video on who stays and who goes will be a good lunchtime. Hey, Steve, that's going to be probably coming out next week because it's a big video and I want to do it justice. So I'll do that next week because there's conversations we can have still first. Fergie changed to 3-3-3. Mate, Fergie changed 4-3-3 when we had Carlos Queiroz. He was the guy who brought that in. He listened to him, to be fair. And it worked. Absolutely worked. A Game of TV saying Sam Patrick Dorgu's starting to grow into his position. I thought Dorgu actually played all right in the final. Dorgu and Yoro, I thought were okay. But no, let's not actually speak about that football itself. I watched like United do that. The 2019 and 20. It's actually a really good video. It's on summed up the game in 20 minutes for you. Striker, Cunha, and a goalkeeper would be a good start. Buster saying, seemed like the players were turning up for the Europe. No excuses next season. Dude, they were turning up for Europe. And then despite the fact that there are 15,000 United fans who are all travelled to Bilbao, who have all spent thousands, who have spent some 12, 13, 14 hours getting there, they go and put in that level of performance in the final, where it goes to the last 10 to 15 minutes of the game, and all of a sudden, they start squeezing it. They start playing with a bit more zip to their passing. They start crafting and creating chances. Oh, brilliant. Well, you could have done that in the first 60, 70 minutes. Even though I still think we did enough to win that game, we didn't because we can't finish. Look at that stat. You know how nuts that is? Spurs won a European final without having a shot on target. Wow. Impressive. Really, really impressive. Yeah, Tom, that I do agree with. The fans do deserve better. Now, I'm going to do my lunchtime video on Amro. There's a lot for me to catch up on. And again, this is what I said at the start of the video. And kind of why I don't think I can really do these Euro trips anymore, man. There's just so much responsibility on me to dive into all of this and to cover all of this in the way that I see best. I just can't do it with the trips because I can't trust myself. When I go to, and this is the thing, that's the kind of thing I miss, man. When I go to these trips and I see everyone, I just have a good time. And I'm just like, boom, let's be a United fan again. And I go, oh, actually, I forgot I'm supposed to be doing this. I just can't trust myself. I'm going to do 2 videos today. One's going to be on Ruben. I think that's the most prevalent and most important conversation. That'll be going out at lunchtime today. Then later on this evening, I'll do a video on Garnacho, on attitudes. Tomorrow, there's absolutely no chance I'm doing a Villa starting 11 because I think that'll be balmy. No one cares about that. I'll figure out what the conversation is going to be tomorrow. And then from next week, there's going to be so much more that we can take this conversation forward. And we'll speak about the keep or sell. We'll speak about the priorities this summer, about what needs to happen, about who needs to go. Yeah, this is... I'd be amazed. I'd be amazed if it gets any lower than this, because the only thing lower than this is relegation. I don't think United will ever get relegated in the modern era. I know you might want to troll me, but it's not going to happen. There's always going to be... No, it's just not going to happen. But wow, have we got a big job on. Thank you to everybody for taking the time to tune in today. I know it probably wouldn't have been easy for you as much as it wasn't easy for me. That was brutal. That really, really was brutal, wasn't it? Savage final. Savage season. Edgar saying, I feel for the travelling fans. I went to watch United West Ham from Chicago. That's a jaunt, Edgar. That really is. But look, much love to all of you. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Andre for gifting 50 memberships. And who else gifted some down here? I think there was a couple more of you. Redo, you gifted 10. Gamer TV, you gifted 5 as well. All of you, just get in the Discord and just give each other some sort of communal hug. United will be back. There's absolutely no doubt that United will be back. But the amount that we've got to get right this summer is staggering. And I do fear for INEOS because I don't know how. I don't know how. Jonathan, you saying you need an understudy for the odd game. Yes, dude, I really, really do. I've been saying that for a while. And it's something I'm working on in the background. United People's TV is now way bigger than just me. And I need more United lads to come in and get involved with me. Because it's just not possible for me to do all the work I need to do. There is too much. Much love, everybody. Have a cracking weekend. Check out the videos you saw here today. Well, you will see them later. I'll see you on Sunday night, actually, after the game. Take it easy.